Hey, Eric Sider here, and I thought I'd take advantage of the interesting sky to do a little garden update. Um, it's not cloudy, it's wildfire haze. So it's 91 degrees, and the air quality index is 161. So anything over 150 is considered hazardous, and anything over 50 is considered moderate air quality. So not good for almost anyone to be outside for any length of time right now. So we'll do this fairly quickly. So let's get into it. If you've been following along, I did a whole video on planting sweet potatoes from the store. So for the most part, they are coming along pretty well. Nothing's looking fabulous, but again, it's been multiple 100-degree plus days, so as long as they're still growing and not dying off, then they should come around well. Now the ponds had some interesting updates. The mosquito fish have been breeding like crazy, so we got tons of fish in there. And then look at this big old crayfish that was about less than a half an inch when I put him in there, and now he's easily 3, maybe 4 inches, but he's wreaking havoc on my plants. I had to put everything in pots because he keeps clipping. You can see this was the last thing that was growing at the bottom, and he's just coming through and clipping everything. Let's see, we got the pot he was just in, that's some California bulrush, so that's a new addition. This is just some African lily that's just transplanting and just letting it root out a bit, so that's going to go in the root barrier. Got some bamboo, we're going to see if that's going to propagate, and it's coming along. I thought the plants would be more established than they are at the moment, but I think the heat is just restricting. So we still got a good amount of algae growth, but it's coming along. Got lots of fish, and it's a good little ecosystem. Again, nothing's planted here yet, so just waiting for the fall. So it's August now. We will be starting seeds for the fall. Now this was interesting. So I did. I don't know if you've been watching the tomato planting video. I planted over 35 tomato plants, and wasn't sure what was going to happen. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 survived out of 35, and they're all just looking on death's door. And then these guys just exploded into green. You can see they're curling up just mostly from the heat. So all at interestingly different heights and healthiness. And then this is what they used to look like, if you can even see it in so just kind of scorched and burnt. This little jalapeno doesn't want to grow much more than that. We have had some success with two watermelon plants just bought from the store. So these guys coming on, and even got some little micro watermelons. Right, you can see that right there. And I think watermelon's kind of an interesting plant. It's actually a vine, yet you can see it's got the little tendrils to grow up, but we've modified it to the point where it produces massive fruits, which no normal trellis could support. So it's basically grown on the ground, even though it's originally a vine. So this is a combination of sun damage and Aussie dog damage. He likes to cut right across this little thing when he's running around. So these ones I just planted yesterday, so they're looking a little sad. And then you can see we got some green leaves coming, so hopefully they'll come good. And they're mostly just hanging in there. Even sweet potatoes having a hard time in this heat. Look at that burnt mark. So this one, for some reason, just seems to be taking off well. So as far as the tomatoes go, I will definitely be saving seed on the best performers, because they would definitely be a high heat compatible tomato. Now here's you saw the root barrier video where we installed 3 different plants to stop the Bermuda grass from entering the garden. Now the lemongrass was looking on death's door, and that's pretty much, I got complete success with that. And then the iris, which was just harvested before I planted, hasn't really worked well at all. We got like one here, and about 4 down here. So I need about 10 replacement plants, and the iris over here, considering it's not, I mean, it's more of a physical barrier, it's not exactly the nicest looking plant, so that's why I got that African lily that grows, it's planted all around the parks here, so I'll kind of gonna swap that in. It's a little nicer looking, and more or less will do the same job. Here's some more sweet potatoes. This is already in the video. I got about, I don't know, 30 to 40 sweet potato plants off these 6, and just let them keep growing, so they're getting even more. These are jalapenos. I've been growing, just different pepper plants that have been growing all through the summer, just under partial shade. So we'll see if we can get those in the ground. Just some succulent transplants. Let's see. Some potted up lemongrass, some jasmine, and here, this is the potato box experiment. So still growing. They've been struggling a bit in the sun as well, so should be interesting to see how easy and how much productivity we get out of that. It's just a little bit of compost, but mostly it's all just straw. And the idea is you remove the box, and then harvest time is easy. So we'll see how that goes. This has probably been the best performing bed. We got these, I'm not sure what kind, these volunteer beans just kept popping up, so I let those grow. Got a poblano pepper, some basil that have been snipping off the flowers, because most of the time you get the herb plants from the nursery, they're ready to go to seed. And we got this wild group of cherry tomatoes that I'm just kind of letting go native here. Could be pruning it if I want, but I'm not really interested. This is about, almost could connect that to this tree over here. What I have been doing is just, sorry about that. What I have been doing is taking advantage of these volunteer bean plants, and then they're using at first they're using the tomato stems for their own structure, and then once it loops onto the main thing, they can hold up the tomato themselves. So see all this kind of happy accident happening here. So it's all quite interesting. We got some broccoli and cauliflower that are just struggling in the heat. This has been the best performing one, but still just leaves and stem. And then the kale, I've already come through and did a major harvest, so this is kind of just, it's pretty leathery kale, so it's got to be cooked pretty well, so it's not exactly the tastiest or most appetizing. Let's see. That's pretty much it. We'll see if we can get a shot of the hazy wildfire sun. Doesn't really show up too well on the camera, but it's like 6:30 p.m. and I'm staring directly at the sun, which I should not be able to do. So it's definitely a bizarre scenario, but this is just the new reality of the West and, unfortunately, California. All right, so that's the update. Hopefully we get more planting going in the fall when it's not so crazy hot, but a lot of experimenting, a lot of trialing, and that's it. So if you're enjoying these videos, subscribe, hit the like button. It lets YouTube know it's worth sharing, so helps me out, and especially if you think it's worthwhile information for other people. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.